Hello everyone, my name is Leo and with this video we will share a demo review of the new Boss GX10. First of all, we will hear the unit in action in a demo song, then we will describe the main technical characteristics of the unit, then we will hear more sounds in a dedicated section of this video, and finally I will give you my 2 cents. Let's start with the brand new demo song. Let's now describe the unit. First of all, the Boss GX10 offers 23 amps and 13 cabinets, with 5 dedicated to the bass guitar. This is the list of the amps available that you can check out in the user manual. Among the amps there are no acoustic guitar simulations, but we have a specific effect block dedicated to the acoustic guitar, and we can of course always use our own acoustic guitar IRs. We can choose among 8 microphones, selecting 11 different positions and 3 distances of the mic across the cab. We can load our own IRs in 16 slots using a specific Boss app to convert our IRs and load them in the modeler. Furthermore, the unit offers 99 Boss presets and 99 user ones, organized in 32 banks of 3 presets each. In terms of effects and effect chain management, we have more than 150 effects organized in 12 blocks. We can place the effects in whatever order we want, and we can replicate the same effect many times. I mean, this unit manages multi-instances of the same effect block. So for instance, we can have 2 or 3 overdrives, one after the other. I would also mention that it allows to load parallel effects, so that we can load, for instance, 2 amps in the chain in parallel or 2 delays still in parallel. I think that the signal chain management is one of the standout features of this unit, as we can build pretty articulated signal chains and it's hard to overcome the DSP limit. Of course, the unit manages trails, for instance, for delay. Lastly, in terms of effects, I would mention that we also have a global EQ at our disposal. As regards MIDI, we don't have MIDI ports, but we can use MIDI over USB. Of course, it offers an expression pedal and 3 foot switches and a 4.3 inches touchscreen. We have a computer app, and if we buy the BT20 module, we can control the unit via Bluetooth with our phone. Here I have the Bluetooth module installed. The looper can record 19 seconds loops in stereo, which becomes 38 in mono. No drum machine is included. I would say that in terms of the looper, there is space for improvements. In terms of I/O, we have a guitar input, unbalanced stereo out, a mono effect loop and an headphone out. It does not have an aux in. To overcome this limitation, you may want to use the return jack or the optional Bluetooth accessory, which is priced at around $50, the one I showed you previously. Let's now talk about ADA conversion. The GX10 can be used as a 4x4 channels audio interface via USB-C, at up to 24 bits analog to digital and 32 bits digital to analog. It manages a conversion rate at up to 96 kHz. And this is a standout feature in this price range, as typically the other units offer 24 bits at 44.1 kHz. As usually with both devices, the latency is outstanding, at around 1 millisecond. It runs at 9 volt and 600 mAh, and the weight is 2.2 kilos, so it is a bit on the heavy side, but I have to say that it really seems well built, also thanks to the full metal chassis. And finally, the price is $399. Let's now hear some more sounds. Welcome to the more sound section of this video. We will now hear some sounds extracted from the demo song that I will explain both in terms of artistic choices and tone use with the GX10 to accomplish those goals. First of all, in the demo song there are 4 different tones, one for the theme, one for the distorted solo, one for the jazz guitar and one for the comping part. I will now let you hear each tone, and then after having heard the tone I will explain how I have obtained it. Let's start from the theme. For the theme, I wanted a touch-sensitive tone, able to properly react to my touch, and I wanted also it to be not too sparkly in order to fit with the mood of the song. A tone that should also highlight the different nuances of my playing. As I have played with my right thumb, then with the pick, I have changed the pickup, etc. Basically, I also wanted to clearly hear the differences in the tone when I changed playing style or guitar pickup, also to provide some movement to the song. For instance, while moving from the verse to the bridge of the demo song, in order to give some movement to the track. To accomplish these goals, I have selected the X-Crunch amp, pushed a bit by the Tube Screamer. The amp provides me with the proper platform to then shape my tone with the hands, the pickup and the Tube Screamer. In fact, I have also added a Tube Screamer to push a bit the amp. I have to say that I like the overdrive pedals in the Boss Pedalboards. They add a kind of nice creamy patina around the tone, which I typically love. I use tube screamer pedals with a bit of drive and pushing the volume in order to crank a bit more the amp. That setting allows to obtain the gain mostly from the amp, which is one of the reasons I think we can obtain those screamy sound I was talking about. Then I have removed some bass, adding a bit of mids and highs, just reducing the highs with the tone knob of my guitar. The relation between the tone knob of your guitar and the tone knobs in the amp is worth a whole video alone, but this would overcome the purpose of this review, even if it is quite an interesting topic actually. In terms of effects, I have used the Tera delay to add space and three-dimensionality to the tone. And now let's hear the jazz solo tone. For the jazz tone, I have tried many clean amps, and my final choice was for the twin combo. That was the only one able to manage my ES175. The solo has a lot of volume excursion according to how strong or soft I push the string, and there is also a pretty wide different behavior of the guitar going from high notes to pretty low ones. The risk here is to have two boomy low notes and ear-piercing high ones. Check out the result obtained especially when I play the chromatic descending run, and notice how the amp was able to manage pretty well, I think, the tonal excursion. Of course, I have also added some ambience with a Tera delay and a plate reverb. And now let's hear the distorted solo part. For the distorted solo part, I wanted something pretty powerful and very contrasty versus the jazz solo. Therefore, I have selected the X high gain amp, still pushed by a tube screamer. And actually, I think that the guitar was really quite screamy. For the delay this time, I have chosen a delay inside the DAW, as I wanted to select the right amount of delay while mixing. I mean, it's always hard for me to define the level of delay for the lead tones. Too much and it is gonna disappear from the mix, too low and the guitar lose dimension and three-dimensionality. That's why I typically use DAW delays. And now let's hear the comping clean tone. Finally, for the comping clean tone, I have used a bass mount. I have recorded two parts, pumping them hard left and hard right to obtain a nice natural chorus, to which I then have added some reverb in the DAW. Still in the DAW, like the lead tone, as for me the reverb in the comping part is really always a very hard choice to be done while mixing. If we have too much reverb to the comping part, then the whole mix is a mess. With too few, the mix loses space. That's why I prefer to select it while mixing. And now let's jump to my final considerations. Final considerations here, and please notice that these are gonna be my personal opinions for my specific use cases, and you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Furthermore, Boss has sent me this unit for free, but they are not asking me to say anything, and this video is not paid or sponsored. Therefore, I'm free to tell you whatever I want. Let's talk about the pros. First of all, I would mention the customizable signal chain with parallel effects, the possibility to place effects blocks wherever we want, and the possibility to have many instances of the same effect blocks in the chain. I think that in terms of signal chain, this unit is among the best in the market you can get at this price point. Another standout feature is the latency at around 1 millisecond. Basically, this is one of the best units in terms of latency that money can buy. To have better performances, we can only get the NAM player, which is of course a product in a totally different category. Then I would mention the audio interface with 4 channels, 24 bits and a DA conversion of 32 bits. And of course we can also reach 96 kHz of conversion rate. Of course, the touchscreen here simplifies noticeably the user experience compared to the GT1000, which is more difficult to be used. In terms of cons, I would mention the missing aux in that we can overcome using the return jack or purchasing the Bluetooth dongle, but that I think is pretty important in a unit like this that could be intended as a practicing device. Then I would mention the looper and the missing drum machine. I mean, the looper is at 19 seconds stereo and 38 mono, where there are some competitors that offer an included drum machine and a longer looper. This is not important for me, but I think it is worth noticing, especially compared to what other units in this price range offer. By the way, if you want a very detailed comparison of the GX10 versus the Nux MG30 or the Valiton GP200 or the Matribox 2, you can check out the video in the card above. In terms of sound, I would mention 2 standout features. First of all, I really enjoy the overdrive inside this unit. Maybe this is due to the long-term experience Boss has in this area, but every time I add an overdrive pedal in the chain, it puts a smile on my face. Second, we can have very dynamic amp tones. For instance, the Bassman simulation is very enjoyable, in my opinion, and we can range from clean to overdrive tones just using the volume of our guitar, or just pushing more or less the string. Lastly, in terms of tone, I would mention one of my dream features for Boss units, which is profiling. I really like to profile my amps and my pedals, and I would really like to have this possibility also with Boss units, that are the units which have, for my experience, among the best effects in the market. And now, please let me know your precious and valuable opinions in the comment section below. Which is the standout feature of this unit? Please let me know. We have now reached the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell and leave a thumb up, as it would be of great help. If you are interested in my IRs or in my Tonix profiles, you can check out the link in the card above or description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine and to my new EP, Art, Love, Freedom. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.